In our previous lecture, we have seen that PDA uses two different way to make the language accepted by the defined machine. One of them was that whether the language is going to the final state, means whether it is getting accepted by final state or not. And the second approach was to find out whether the after processing whatever the string is there fed to the machine, whether the stack has processed everything, means whether at the end of all the processing all the strings whether the stack is empty or not. And we have seen the two approaches was resulting same, and two of them was equivalent. We claimed that both the process are equivalent. Fine. So here in today's lecture we will learn one of them, that is we will start with empty stack, means whatever the procedures we are using to make the string accepted by this way of emptying the stack, and we will move from it to acceptance by final state. So if we can move from one procedure to the another one, we can say both of them are equivalent, and the reverse of this means from final state to empty stack we will see in our next lecture. Okay. So let us begin. Fine. We shall show that the classes of languages that are LP for some PDA-P is same as the languages that are NP for some PDA-P. We are assuming that LP, the class of languages which are being accepted by the final state, means whenever we are treating the PDA as that okay, this string will be accepted by PDA if it can reach final state, means if we consider the acceptance by final state procedure, then we are defining the language as LP. And if we define the other way around, that is whether it is being accepted by empty stack, we will define or we will denote those languages as NP. Do not get confused, both are same, but since we are following two different procedures and our motive is to convert from one procedure to other, so we are just using two different notation. Ultimately you will see that both of them are same, and it has to be same, right? Fine. Our first construction shows how to take a PDA PN that accepts a language L by empty stack and construct a PDA PF that accepts L by final state. Here what input we are taking? We are taking the PDA PN, that is the PDA which is being accepted by the empty stack, or the strings fed to this PDA are being accepted by empty stack, and we are defining that as P suffix n, and we will move to the PDA P suffix f, that is the PDA where we will use the concept of acceptance by final state. From our assumption or from our consideration, firstly we will construct a PDA which is being accepted by the empty stack, and we will move to the PDA P suffix f2, that is acceptance by final state. Okay. So what if we write it in form of theorem, what we said in the next in the earlier slide or in the previous slide, how we can write it, that if L equals to n of Pn, means here Pn means the languages getting accepted by the empty stack. Fine. So whatever the languages are for some PDA Pn, remember in this case of PDA where we are making the PDA to follow the fashion of accepting the language by emptying in its stack, we just discarded the last value of the tuple, that is f, because we were not bothered of the final state here. So it will be a 6 tuple notation, that is q, sigma, tau, delta, q naught, z. We all know what each of this symbol means. Fine. So if this exists, then there is a PDA PF such that L equals to LPF, means you just see here firstly we are considering L equals to the languages getting accepted by the empty stack, that is n of Pn. Again from this we are proceeding towards the fact that if this holds, then obviously if a PDA is there which we are defining with 7 tuple, that is including the final state, that is P of f, then that L will be again equivalent to L of PF, means whatever the language that PF is accepting. Okay. Fine. Now we will begin our proof. Just look at the diagram. Do not worry for now. We will just learn 2 to 3 steps, then our diagram will be automatically clear why we have used this transition diagram. Fine. Here we will use a new symbol x naught, which must not be a symbol of tau. What is tau? Tau are those symbols which we can store in the stack, means the accepted symbols with respect to stack. What are the symbols that this PDA is going to accept to insert into its stack? And we are considering a symbol, namely x naught, and that is not a part of tau. We are not telling that tau is a part x naught is a part of tau. We are just considering a new symbol. Okay, why we are using it, we will see. How x naught is going to act here? It is both the start symbol of PF. PF means that PDA where the languages are getting accepted by final state, right? So here x naught is going to act as both as a start symbol of PF and a marker on the bottom of the stack that let us know when Pn has reached an empty stack. Here what we are doing, we are just combining two features, means starting from Pn we will reach PF. So we have to design a PF, or our approach should be like this, that where both the requirement fulfills, right? So here we are considering x naught. It is acting as start symbol of PF, and again it will act as marker to let the machine know that Pn has reached an empty stack. Pn means the next approach, where we are considering the fact of getting accepted, the languages are getting accepted by the empty stack. So if we see x naught, if PF sees x naught, it can means it can come to the conclusion that Pn has reached the empty stack, means Pn has emptied its stack. Fine. So then only it can reach the final state, obviously, right? Means if one approach, if PF can find out that okay, Pn has reached the or emptied its stack, then we will obviously move to the final state. The thing will be same, but we need a marker for that. That is x naught is doing. Fine. Now, if PF sees x naught on top of its stack, then it knows that Pn would empty its stack on the same input, as we have already discussed. Okay. We also need a new start state, small p naught, whose sole function is to push z naught to the start symbol of Pn onto the top of the stack and enter state q naught, the start state of Pn. Please do not get confused why we are using P naught and Q naught as two different start states, which is not possible ultimately. We will see that P naught and X naught are acting as same. P naught and Q naught are acting similarly, right? But for now we are considering one state, namely P naught, whose sole function is to push Z naught. Why its sole function is to push Z naught? Because in case of this emptying stack way, we do not consider anything to be in the stack, but in case of that acceptance by final state method, we consider something to initiate the stack, right? So here if we start with one state P naught, means here P naught will, the job of P naught will be to insert Z naught to the stack. So we are combining two different features. Firstly, for this emptying stack method, we do not need any start symbol in the stack to be remain at the end, but for this final state acceptance method, we need one stack symbol to be in the stack. That is why we have incorporated P naught. If you see the diagram, see it is starting with an empty string, nothing is fed into it, and it is having x naught in it. If you consult the previous slides, we have already discussed there. We are considering one additional symbol, namely x naught, which is acting as the start symbol in one way round, and for the end marker for another way round, right? So whenever it is beginning, just see the transition, epsilon comma x naught is getting converted to Z naught x naught, means it is just pushing Z naught onto the stack. Okay, now what PF will do, PF is simulating PN. Simulating means it is just copying every feature that a PN can do. Means whatever the stages now PN will follow, means the way where we are considering the fact of getting accepted by empty stack. If we design the PDA considering this way, then we have to find out a similar way where the acceptance by final state will occur, right? So here PF is simulating whatever PN is doing. Why it can simulate? Just see, the difference lies with the start state and the end state, and if whatever in between characteristics a PDA with acceptance by empty stack is having, a similar thing will be in the case of the second choice, right? So here just if you just see the transitions from Q naught, you just see what it is doing whenever it is moving to final state PF. It is doing what we have designed, that whenever the PF will see X naught in the stack, it will be sure enough, okay, now my PN is going to empty the stack, so I have to reach to PF. So it is doing the same thing. Whatever state, see the three intermediate states are there, you can write anything else. Means we are just focusing on whatever the transitions we have to do. But at the end of the day, whenever we will see X naught as a top of the stack, we will just move to the final state. That is what this is the characteristics of PN, because it is emptying the stack ultimately to reach the final state. So that is the thing PF is following. Fine. Okay. Now finally we need another new state PF, which is the accepting state of this. Do not get confused between this small PF and capital PF. Fine. Small PF means the state, like small p naught is the state, small q naught is the state, and PF is the PDA, which is depending on the fact of acceptance by final state. Okay. Which is the accepting state of PF. This PDA transfers to PF whenever it discovers that PN would have emptied its stack. I have already told you all this thing. See, whenever PN is emptying its stack, means there is nothing remains in the stack. In each and every transition we can see epsilon comma X naught is getting converted to epsilon, means it is emptying its stack. So obviously PF now can, okay fine, PN is going to accept, going to empty its stack, so the job is done, so I have to move to the final state. Okay. Now this theorem states that LBLPF for some PDA PF, this one, see here, when we are describing with respect to PF, that is acceptance of final state, we are defining the PDA PF with using 7 tuples, because here we have to consider the F as well. Then there is a PDA PN such that L equals to NPN. We will just prove it. Okay. Fine. So here, if we describe PF more elaborately, what we have done, we had our total states, namely Q. We had whatever the set of states we need to design the PDA inside Q. And what we have done, we have incorporated 2 more states. One is P naught, another is PF. That's why we have unioned it. Next sigma, okay. Now tau, with tau we have incorporated one more symbol X naught, which is not a part of tau, so you cannot combine, write it inside the tau, so we have just added it, right? And rest remains the same. Okay. Now we have to remember, we will learn 4 different rules what delta F is doing, and we have to remember because we need these rules to prove the theorem. Fine. So what delta F is doing, whenever at P naught it is seeing this, it has nothing to process, this is the ID, right? The string with it is not, it is having no strings fed into it, and it is having X naught as the marker, right, as a beginning. So it will do what? It will directly move to Q naught and will insert z naught to begin the stack. We have discussed it earlier. So this whatever I told you, this is written in sentence, just go through once. If you can also write the looking at the transition diagram, the concept will be clearer. Okay, next what it is doing, for all states q in q, means just remember we have added two new states, that is p naught and pf. So here we are bothered of these two states only. For in between whatever the states it is having, it is already the part of PDA. So for all states q in q, inputs, whether it may be a input symbol or it may be empty, the stack symbol y in tau, this one q a y, contains all the pairs in this one. Means what? If you remember, we told that I have told you that this PF is simulating PN, right? So for whatever the states it is already having in it, it is just copying PN, right? So whatever the transition it will do for QAY in PF or in PN, PF will act similarly. That is why you can see from q0 whatever the intermediate state is, it is moving, it will act similarly, nothing to worry of it. So we are not actually, we are not concentrating on this, but this will be same, right? Now in addition to this previous rule, if what we have learnt earlier, another it contains PF of epsilon for every state q in q. Okay, why? Because ultimately from each and every state, when we will see the empty string, means there is nothing remains to process. See, if we see with respect to this PF, it is having one of the state q, whatever state it may be, anything that belongs to q, and it is saying that nothing remains to process, it is empty, and it is saying x naught. X naught is what? With respect to PF, it is a marker which will let it know that okay, my PN is going to empty its stack now and I have to move to the final state. That is why it is doing what? See, it is moving to PF epsilon, right? Now we must show that W is in LPF if and only if W is in NPN. Till now we have just focused on the transitions and what where it is copying, what new states we need to add to the existing machine to show that from one way round we can move to the other way round. But ultimately our job is to show that if W is in LPF, then W is in NPN. Means whatever the string my final state is accepting, it should be accepted if and only if that string is being accepted by the first approach, that is by emptying the stack, because we are following the emptying stack method to move to the final state method. Okay, now if we are given that, say at the initial state, that is q naught, if we are given any string W and we are having z naught, in respect to applying, means this PN means emptying the stack, what it will do after applying as many as transition it needs, ultimately it will reach to some state q. Before, I am not talking of PF, because here the emptying stack method is not bothered of the final state, so it is moving to some state q. It is obviously the final state, but we are not focusing what q is, because our job is to see whether my stack is empty or not, right? So it will move to another state q, it will have nothing to process, and see, in place of z naught we are writing epsilon, because in this emptying stack method we do not keep anything inside the stack. The emptying stack means we are done with my job. Now one theorem we have learnt in our earlier classes, let us insert x naught at the bottom of the stack and conclude that why we are inserting x naught, because here our job is to start with this PN and move to PF, means from starting with this emptying stack approach and move to final state acceptance method. So what it will do, it will push x naught right, and it will act as the marker for the PF. Fine. So if we just include x naught, it will be in the stack only, right, to show, let the PF approach show that okay, PN approach is moving to empty stack. It will act as the marker, so it remains in the stack. Instead of epsilon, we will write x naught. Okay, since by rule 2, rule 2 means what? Whatever the 4 rules we have read so far, the rule 2 was, that is, for any state, for any input, my PF is going to simulate the PN. Okay. So by rule 2, PF has all the moves of PN. We must conclude that since it is simulating all the moves of PN, so we can conclude this one for any of the moves in PN. Since we are writing the same thing, whatever the PN is doing, we are doing the same thing in case of PF. So whatever you have written in using the turnstile symbol in with respect to PN, you can write the same thing using PF. That is what we are copying here. So if we put the sequence of moves together with the initial and final moves, rules, remember rule 1 and 3, rule 1 and 3 describes what? How it is moving from P0 to Q0, and for the last one, it was about the final state, that is PF. So what it will do? Firstly, if it is just see, we have just incorporated in the turnstile symbol the notation for P0 in the left hand side and notation for PF in the right hand side. So firstly, if we fed W to P0, and it will begin with x naught, we have seen it, so it will do this thing for PF, right. It will just insert what it is doing. It is just inserting z0 onto the top of the stack. So see, for the first transition, it is just inserting z0 on top of it, and for any number of moves, we have already proven that for any number of moves, it will ultimately result into q comma epsilon comma x naught, right. We have already proved it, and from here it can, whenever it will see x naught as the marker, so it will ultimately reach the final state. Fine. So thus PF accepts W by final state. So we have already proved that PF is getting accepted by the means the W, whatever the string is, we have fed to PF, it is getting accepted by the final state. Okay. Now if we concentrate, that was the if part. Now only if condition says the converse requires only that we observe the additional transitions for rules 1 and 3 give us very limited way to accept W by final state. Obviously if we see the rule number 1 and 3, it was only focusing on the empty symbol, right. So on seeing first what is the first job of the machine is what means, on seeing x naught, it will just push z naught onto it, and the last step was this one, just whenever it will see that x naught as the marker, it will move to the final state. So these are the very limited versions, but we are having the in between conditions that for any other inputs, it will just copy the first approach. Now we must use rule 3 at the last step, and we can only use the rule if the stack PF contains only x naught. We have already discussed it. Fine. No x naughts ever appear on the stack except at the bottommost position. The design is like that only. We used x naught to mark or to make the PF or make the PDF, which is working on the fashion of accepting by final state, to see x naught as the marker, to make it aware that okay, that my PN is going to empty the stack and I have to move to the final state. So x naught is going to appear at the bottommost position of the stack only, right. Otherwise before processing all the strings, it will see x naught at the top of the stack and it will move to the final state. Our design will be wrong. So x naught needs to be appear at the bottommost position. Further, rule 1 is only used at the first step, and it must be used at the first step. Nothing to say, because we are just including one new state P0 just to have a similarity between the two approaches, because PF approach uses Z0 as the stack element and PN approach does not use it. So from P0 we are moving to original start state by just including Z0 into it. So it should be used as the beginning. We cannot use it in the intermediate state, we cannot use it at the end. Thus, any computation of PF that accepts W must look like sequence mentioned above. Okay, so we have already mentioned the sequence. Moreover, the middle of the computation, all but the first and the last steps, must also be computation of Pn with x naught below the stack. Obviously, we have pushed the x naught firstly, above it we have pushed the z naught, right? After that, whatever maybe the pushing and popping operations are there, we have to do it accordingly. Pn is acting, right? So here x naught will be always be at the bottommost position. The reason is that except for the first and the last steps, PF cannot use any transition that is not also a transition of Pn, and x naught cannot be exposed to, or the computation would end at the next step. I have told you earlier this one. Whenever it is from P0 to Q naught, when it is moving, it is already pushing Z naught above x naught. Okay. Now it can do whatever Pn is doing. So if we do not keep x naught at the bottommost location, whenever if it can see x naught at the topmost position of stack, and it can ultimately move to final state. So design will be wrong. So x naught cannot be exposed, or the computation would end, right? So we are not going to exposing q naught x naught. So whenever it has processed all the strings, so whenever it will see x naught as the top element, after processing all the strings, so then only it can see that x naught as the top element, because x naught is being buried under whatever the inputs we are giving to the stack. Okay, fine. So what we are concluding after so many discussions, so whatever input what Q0 is fed to, having Z naught, it is ultimately emptying the stack. If you remember, we have already proved that this W is being accepted by PF, means it is getting accepted by the design approach, where we were following the pattern of getting accepted by final state. Now here, using the same approach, we can conclude that it is also being accepted by NPN. So both NPN and LPF, that is the language on this final state acceptance PDA, and the language getting accepted by this empty stack method are same. That is, both of them are accepting W. So from one approach we can move to the next. Okay, in our next class we will see the reverse of this, that is, we will be given this final state approach and how to move to the empty stack method. Thank you.